Hey, this is Tori.
And this is Dory. Welcome
Back to the
our podcast. Wow, there you go.
Just kidding. Welcome back to the Expat podcast, episode 4.
Yeah, we made it this far. Episode 4.
Episode 4, and today will be perhaps a quicker one. And we're going to respond to frequently asked questions about London.
Yeah, we are going to use an article by visitbritain.com.
Oh, wonderful. My voice is a little scratchy because last night was my grandpa's birthday party and I was playing in the pool with little kids, so I was screaming. And then my cousin was the DJ and he had a microphone, so we were doing karaoke in the evening. And I was belting Whitney Houston, Let It Go, it's Roberta
Wow.
Flack, you know.
Okay.
So
How old is your grandpa?
he turned 92.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was a fun party.
92? Oh.
Yep. And he doesn't look it.
Does he feel like it?
He's like a quiet. He probably won't tell you if anything's weird, but he still walks around and everything. And he danced with his daughters, which was really cute. It's like a slow dance.
Oh.
And my grandma.
Well, he has seen a lot of historic events.
Yes.
Poor guy.
And had 13 kids on top of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
13?
And he was planning on becoming a priest initially. But then he got married.
Didn't do a good job with that, I guess.
No, he dropped out.
Wow. Okay, that's a weird question, but your grandma, one woman birthed all 13 children?
Yes.
Okay, because I was
Yes.
like, did he remarry? So that's why the big number, or like it's your grandpa and your grandma together, 13 kids?
Well, she had 10 with him, and then she was married to someone else for like 10 years, and they had the 3, and then they got back together. But those 3, well, the 13th, she died when she was a baby. But my 2 youngest aunts, they see him as their dad.
Wow.
So a little scandal, but we're a big happy family.
But 10 is still a big number.
Yeah.
That's still double digits.
Him and his wife, my grandma, they both came from big families. So his was actually a family of like 15 and hers is 17.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When I hear these kind of things, I'm always like, so you spent 10 years, almost 10 years, being just pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting to actually add it up, all of the months of pregnancy in her life, or my great grandma's.
Okay, I need to calculate this. That's 90 months. I used to be good at math, but it is 10 p.m. and my brain doesn't function the same. That's 7.5 years without break. Just the 9 months.
And I don't know about if there was pregnancies that didn't go to the full term. I think there might have been with my great grandmother. I don't know.
Wow. 10 kids?
13.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Whoa. Are you planning on having 10, 15, 17 kids?
I think I'm too late.
You are never too late.
They started at like age 20. No, great grandma started at age 16, I believe.
16?
Because great grandma got married at 14, age 14, and I think she started having kids at 16, and grandma started at like 20.
16?
Yeah. So for me,
got married at 14?
Yeah, that's actually a really funny story because one of her kids wrote down, like, she told the story and wrote it down, and it's really hilarious actually. But it's sweet.
Okay, so she's 14. The husband was 14
Oh,
too?
no.
No, I thought so. Okay.
He was like 26 or 28. Maybe 26. It's in the
Double
20s.
the age?
Yeah. Yeah. They would be
Oh,
canceled now.
we have to discuss that story sometimes later because my mind
Okay.
just got blown and it is just giving me all the creeper vibes.
I try not to think about it like that. My great grandpa,
I mean,
Antonio.
come on. Like just think about it. I'm 27 now. How would that look like
I
if I
know.
started dating a 13-year-old boy right now?
I know. It's not good.
So,
She
yeah.
thought she was mature, according to her story.
I'm sure. Or like double my age.
Uh,
So that would be 54. Me starting dating a 54 years old.
Well, at least you're over 18.
That's true, but my dad only a couple of years older than that. So
I think my parents are 54. Ew!
now you understand the
I
feelings that
know.
came out from not knowing the full story, just the age difference and being like, okay.
I do know, but it's like that was a long time ago. They have a bunch of kids. They're both not alive right now. So it's like there's no point thinking the negative. Just like put the rose color tint over it. Like, oh, they're a cute couple.
I get it. That was a different word. I understand.
Yeah. But I know it's weird, but whatever. So that's
There
my
you go. You are going
family.
to have a lot to cut out from this.
I don't know. We'll see. So, the first question on here is how can I do London on a budget?
Well,
So,
there was a question beforehand.
oh, sorry. The first question they have on this article is does it really rain all the time? And it says the short answer is no. Contrary to popular belief, London is actually relatively dry. And indeed, Britain overall has a temperate climate, but is prone to quick changes. Thus, the need to always be prepared with the brole umbrella, they're saying, should there be a cloudburst.
True.
Yeah,
If
that
it
is
rains,
true.
it rains heavily or just like spitting. But
Yeah.
it's
It
not
does,
like you are not going to see it's coming.
and it's rare that it rains all day. It usually like rains for a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's not like Seattle.
I mean, with my luck, let's just say I got drenched in many times in that rain.
Yes. That happens.
But that's just because I have that kind of luck. Also because I do not mind rain. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna rain today. I don't care. It's London. I don't care.
Yeah. Sometimes I would just go for like a beanie, a hat rather than an umbrella. I didn't care that much.
Yeah. Also, most of my coats have a hoodie, like a
Yeah.
hood. So I'm just like, man, whatever. That's gonna
Yeah.
protect enough.
So that's all you need really. And the quick changes is true. One time, when I was in Bristol, well, this is Bristol, but it can happen in London. But my walk to my university building was about 15 minutes, and when I left the house, it was sunny, and then it started to get rainy, and then it started to hail within that 15-minute period. I'm like, what the heck happened? I didn't have an umbrella, and everyone was hiding under the shop, like the awnings. And I had to run across the street to get to the building. I was like, I'm not gonna wait here for 10 hours. And it was an interesting experience.
Yeah, it happens in London as well. Once I was going home from work and I had a terrible day at work. Like I was like so done. I was just like, I'm just gonna go home go under my blankie, make some popcorn, watch Netflix.
Yeah.
That for the day. I had like the worst day at work.
Uh,
Got out of work. It was sunny and really hot. I'm like,
uh-huh.
okay, cool. Like 10 steps later, started
Yeah.
clouding up, but like the black clouds. It started raining. I'm like, okay, whatever. It can't be worse. Then it started pouring. By the time I got to the bus stop, I was drenched, like
Oh,
through
what?
a hoodie, a long sleeve t-shirt, a short sleeve t-shirt, and like you could literally just like you grabbed onto my hair and it was like dripping. But I got on the bus and it started becoming sunny again.
Uh-huh.
And like 2 minutes later, it was sunny, really hot. And because of the rainwater, it just started being like you can't breathe because it was so humid, the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that that looks appropriate for the day. So I went home, took a shower, went to
Yeah.
bed, and I was like, no.
Goodbye, world. Even though that's like a unlucky story, it makes me miss London. I'm sad right now.
Oh,
Like crying when you're talking about being drenched with rain.
I that was not the first and the last time I did similar thing, but that one
Yeah.
was memorable because I documented it on Instagram stories, and
Uh-huh.
people were like, you know that the last 3 stories of like the 3 different seasons happened
Yes.
in within like 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally aware of it. Thank you so much for letting me know, for stating the obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just can't imagine, when you're wearing your coat and it gets wet.
yeah,
That's London. That feels
it's
like London. Oh, it's cozy. I think I'm
but it
tired because I'm feeling too many emotions right now.
oh but it doesn't rain that much, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You'll be fine.
yeah,
Get a little umbrella, keep in your purse, or get a hoodie.
yeah,
The end.
the end,
I
yeah.
never heard of a brolly.
Broly,
Brolly. Brolly.
broadly.
I never heard that.
No, never heard that anybody saying broly. Nope.
No.
Also, if it starts raining, there are people who doesn't have an umbrella, and they already going to show you where you can get some cover, and you will be fine. So
Also, isn't it like a thing? If you don't have an umbrella, it's like, oh, I'm better than you. It's like a status thing.
it's like I'm
I don't know.
stronger than you.
Yeah.
I'm not as snob as you. Like I'm not made of candy. I'm not gonna melt. Yeah.
Yeah. But one fun weather thing I'll just throw in, if it rains at night and then it gets really cold in the morning, it makes frozen puddles. So when I would walk my little nanny kids to school, we try to go early so we can go ice skating because there's this one tree on the sidewalk where it had like dipped in. So we would go ice skating for a few minutes before school. It was
That's
fun.
cute. In the winter, when it was raining and then the next day it froze down, we had to get through like over the road. There was
Oh
like a
yeah.
bridge kind of thing, and it froze, and
Oh
my kids were
no.
like clinging into me because my shoes were the only ones that were not slippery, and I was
Mhm.
the only one who actually knows how to ice skate, so I'm not gonna fall. That was funny. They were freaking out, so it wasn't funny for them. But
Oh.
for me, I'm like, you're gonna be fine. You are not gonna fall. I gotcha. And they're like, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna break my hand. I'm gonna break my legs. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
not on my watch. That's for sure.
My kids go ice skating, so they know more than me. They're good.
I mean, my kids went ice skating occasionally, like once a year, but they were in the age of like 8, 10,
Yeah.
and me, I started ice skating with my dad at age 4.
Oh,
So, so it's more
that's
like
cute.
I don't have a great balance, but put me on ice and I'm gonna be fine.
Oh,
I
that's
have better balance on ice than I have on pavement.
well, that's a skill.
Yeah, way to be a dancer. All right, our next question. How can I do London on budget? Well, that's not that easy though. This is more possible than you would think. Is it? Tell me more.
Hmm.
Many of the world's greatest museums and art galleries are in London, and amazingly many have free entry. There
True.
are all sorts of ways to see the other sites with special offers and discounts, and
Yeah.
that's great about Britain is you are going to get a good value, memorable experience for your money. You can easily walk between many of the main sites of central London. That's true.
Yes.
Saving on transport too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Invest in a visitor Oyster card if you do plan to hop on and off the tube and buses.
Okay, so let's organize this. Let's say this person is coming for 1 week. First thing I would say, to get an Airbnb and maybe even just like a room, your own room.
Yes.
There are cheap hotels. The Z or Z hotel is inexpensive, but kind of like luxury and expensive, but it still can get up to £200 per night. So I would go for the
Oh wow.
Airbnb. Yeah, but it does like £70 on the Sunday, but it's like 200 during the week. So it kind of
Airbnb is
evens out.
much cheaper.
Yeah, my friend did that. I would actually prefer that because another way to save money is to go to the grocery store and not eat in a restaurant every night. And even
Yeah.
when I travel, I rarely eat in restaurants. I'm a cafe and grocery store girl.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. They have things like you can have like buy your breakfast for the week at the grocery store, have a £3 meal deal for lunch, and then maybe get a nicer dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible. Also,
Yeah.
when it's like, can I do London on budget? Yeah, traveling to London and like having like a week or two in London, you can do that on budget. Living in London on a budget, that's way more difficult.
Yeah, we spoke about that in the last episode. I feel like we covered that pretty well.
Yeah, but
So,
that's true. Like museums, galleries,
yeah.
most of them are free, and that's amazing because you can see Van Gogh and Da Vinci paintings in the National Gallery for free. Like,
Yes. And
or
that's really
the
nice. All the
Natural
thing.
History Museum is like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
breathtaking,
that one's
and it's
pretty
free.
cool. All the things that I like to do are free, which is like the museums and walking. And like you can go look at the Buckingham Palace. It's just in Green Park.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I haven't done the London Eye. I know that's a little pricey, but you
Well,
just
you
need to.
can get really good deals
Oh,
for
okay,
that
there
as
you go.
well.
Oh yeah, isn't there like something you can pay for where you can do all of the tourist spots?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
That is one of those.
So you
But
just
yeah,
have,
like
yeah.
looking at the fact of like Oxford Street, the Buckingham Palace is like pretty close to each other.
Oh
Then
yeah.
from
Get a map.
Buckingham Palace, you just walk through St. James's Park. You are at Westminster Abbey, the Houses of Parliament,
Yeah.
London Eye. Then you just walk
Yeah.
past the Thames. You see like Globe, St. Paul's Cathedral, Tower Bridge, Millennium Bridge, Tate Modern, like
Uh-huh.
the
Everything
the
is walkable.
tower, like everything is walkable in that area.
Walkable. Just bring
Walkable.
your sneakers. And
Yes.
don't worry about fashion because everyone there wears like nice Nikes or Adidas.
Yeah.
That's
Like
fashion there.
that's the fashion there.
And everyone, not as in everyone tourists, everyone Londoners.
Yeah. When friends are coming down to visit and like sightsee, They always ask me like, so what I'm supposed to bring, like umbrella, like stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, I will take care of those. Bring a comfortable shoe because we are going to walk. And they are like,
Yes. Yeah.
that's it. And I'm like, yes. Other than that, I take care of everything else. I will have an umbrella with me, but we are
Yeah.
not gonna need it. But if you are coming in an uncomfortable shoe, rest in peace. Like,
I know.
I'm sorry.
So overall, just decide what's worth it to you. You could spend a little money going to nicer restaurants or pay that fee to get all the tourist sites because everyone's going to want something different from London and there's so much that it has. Also, like look into if you like Broadway shows or the opera or the symphony, you could find good deals with that. Decide a bit ahead of time after you've sorted out your hotel or Airbnb, get your Oyster card, and then decide, am I putting my money towards this thing or this thing or this thing? But even if you want to spend as little as possible, there's so much you can do without spending money.
Yeah. Also with the good deals for like West End shows, there are so many ways to do that. Like there are those
Yeah.
small traffics where you can get last minute tickets for shows for like the night off,
Yeah.
you know,
That's a good way to do
or
it.
or you can queue in the morning before the theater opens. You can get discounted ticket
I
if
didn't
you are
know
the crazy
that.
one, like I am. I was, who woke up at 4 a.m., got to the queue at 6 a.m. The theater opens at 9 a.m. Just saying. So that's like calculated 3 hours of waiting. But I got £15 tickets for a show that cost between 45 and £70 per ticket.
Wow.
And I got ticket for 15.
I did
And I
not know
got
about that.
first line middle. So I'm like right in front of everything happening, and
Wow.
it was great. It was awesome. But
That's cool.
was I sleep deprived? Yeah.
That's why you get an espresso before the show. Or
Yeah.
3.
Or 3. Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that next time I'm there.
I will go with you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, the next one is, what are the people like? I'm curious about what they say. Let's see. Londoners may look like they might bite, but that's just their resting faces. Oh my goodness. Really, they're quite an approachable bunch, only too keen to help out if you need directions or a good pub recommendation. And they're only too happy to spark up conversation about the easiest of topics, the weather. People from all over Britain and the whole world merge in London, so you'll find it's one of the most diverse and tolerant places you could ever visit. My view of life is if you give kindness, you'll receive it back. So I've never had problem with Londoners. The only thing I would say, and this is really important when communicating with Londoners, and this is for the Americans, make sure that you say water and not water because they will pretend they don't know what you're talking about. So when you're at the cafe, order your water. That's the only point of contention, I would say.
I had more issues with Londoners while I was living in London and not while I was touristy. Because I had the privilege to be a tourist before I moved to London.
Me too.
So when I went to London for like, how long was I there? Like a week? About a week, yeah. Spent about a week there. And first day, I got lost. Of course I got lost. Why not? And I had no idea where I was going. I had no clue. I had no service on my phone. And I was like, my only goal was I wanted to find the Thames, which shouldn't be a big of a problem, right?
Yes.
Wrong.
Well, I should go north.
Yeah, I should have gone north. Yeah, I didn't because my map was like, you are going that direction. And it did not go the right way. I was starting asking people like, I want to get to the Thames, and they had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, the
Oh.
river.
Oh my gosh.
You have a river across your city. I just want to find the river. But yeah, they were nice. Even
Mm-hmm.
they had no idea sometimes if I was going to the right direction, which happens occasionally. Like if you ask people for direction, not everybody is going to know the direction because the
Yes.
city is so big that people won't know always like if you are going to the right direction because they are not around that area. But they were nice, and
Uh-huh.
some of them gave me a couple of ideas of like, if you don't like the city that much, this is a quieter place and it's nice and everything. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But I'm not sure if I would go like for asking for directions. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
totally fine. They are really nice about that. I'm not sure if I would go up to someone and ask like, so what restaurant or pub am I supposed to go?
Yeah. That
I'm
has to
not
be
sure if
like,
I.
yeah. That has to be like you're in a cafe, you're talking to the server or something, or you just happen to get into a chat.
Yeah,
Well,
that.
I don't know. My mom would. She'd ask a random person, but I don't know. It's just like any any conversation that develops naturally.
Yeah, but even me, who lived there for over 2 years, I could not tell you what pub would be the best. I can give you a couple of good restaurants, like cheap but good restaurants, but
Yeah.
like pub recommendations, like you're lost on me. Like,
And then another thing about the people, they could speak with a lot of humor, but you might not realize.
it's dry
Yeah, they have
and dark.
trying. Yeah, because I'm like at the train station once trying to get. It was like my first time in London, and I was trying to leave to the airport. So I'm like panicking, of course, because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I asked like, "Oh, is this $15?" Whatever, and I was visibly stressed. And they're like, "We don't take dollars." But they just they were making fun of me. I'm like, ugh, I mean pounds. They'll do that a
Yeah,
lot. We don't take dollars.
and like
It's
they
funny.
can be really sarcastic,
Yeah.
but with a straight face.
Yeah, they'll look like if you can't read humor, then you'll think they're mean. But you
Yeah,
just have to know they're always joking.
I I I was really good at blending in with that. I can be really sarcastic. So I was just like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
I
could take
gotcha.
it. I appreciate it. Even in France, or yeah, France, I was the south of France. I went to a restaurant and I was kind of it was like the day I arrived and I was like tired and I got splashed by waves in my jeans. So I was like annoyed and I just needed some pasta. So I went to this restaurant and I ordered a glass of wine and the French waiter and it was just like us two in the restaurant pretty much. He said, "Are you 21?" And I was like, "What the heck?" The drinking age in France is 18. So he
Yeah.
obviously knew I was American and was bugging me. But same thing, like complete straight face, like acting all serious. I'm like, okay, I appreciate your humor. I don't remember what I said back.
I that's something I would do, actually.
It's
The
funny.
other day I was watching a movie and I love that movie. And I know that the actor who played the guy was 23 when that episode was, and the character was supposed to be 24. But he has like a really baby face.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a joke in the movie when it's like, you know, I invited him, but they are going to ID him at the bar. And I
Yes.
was like, this is something I would say to my young looking friends who I know they are older than their age. Like, that's something I would say, or like, is your mother know you're here? Like,
I always get carded. I get it.
I get carded as well, and I'm 27, and the drinking age in Hungary is 18.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, that's weird. Okay, next question. How easy is it to get around? Really easy.
Really easy.
Really easy. It's true though.
Yeah.
London has the most comprehensive public transport system in the world, and they have made it as easy as possible for you to travel your way around the city, be it by tube, underground, train, bus, tram, taxi, foot, or even riverboat. Those are cool, by the way. App like Citymapper, which we have talked about last
Yes.
episode, will tell you how to get anywhere within the city from your chosen location, giving different options according to your preference too.
So
True.
we like went over this a lot in the last episode. So let's try to frame it from the tourist view, and we'll start well, we could just cover this briefly, but okay, first coming from the airport, Gatwick, hop on the train to King's Cross, Heathrow, you could take the tube, and then the other ones, you should probably take the coach into the
Yeah,
city.
the coach. Yeah.
So those are the three cheapest options for each one. And then get your Oyster card for the week. Just have it, and like when you come back, you can use it, obviously. And um, well, yeah, first find your house and then find the cheapest way into the city. And probably the most valuable use of your time is the tube, but you might have to take a bus as well. I don't know. You just pick one of those, and then once you're in the center, I would say try to walk everywhere, but if not, just take the buses.
Yeah. And also, I know it's really cool, the London taxis, the black cabs.
Oh my gosh.
They're awesome, but they are expensive.
I've only been in it once. Also, okay, yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
taken
yeah.
one,
That's
but on my
just take a
application it
picture.
says on my application it says how much would it cost for me to take
Oh.
the route with
Uh-huh.
the black cab, and I'm like, I do not have that kind of money right
No.
now.
So just take a picture if you see one parked or driving by, and then use the buses or Uber. I like Uber for late at night, which is kind of
Yeah,
dodgy, but Uber's pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, some of the tubes, I don't, almost all of them run at night as well, so you can get
Yeah.
home
But past
on tube.
12, which happens when my friends visited me, we stayed out really late at night. And I think I took Uber, but there's also night buses. So it'd be
Yeah,
the bus line, but it has a N in front of it. And they're usually like pretty good routes.
yeah, it's
So
true.
just use your app, and go to any tube station or bus stop, and there's usually a map, and you can like visualize things if you like doing it that way.
And
And
on
it's
the
easy to
tube
figure out.
stations, there are actual like workers who you can ask
Oh yeah, that
how to get there.
too.
So
That's a good
that
way.
helps. And it's like, so I don't know what I'm doing with my life, so help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I got
Yeah.
a lot of questions while living there from tourists who you can like look at them and you see in their blank expression of like, I have no idea where I am, and they are down in the tube and looking at, like, staring at a tube map, and they are like,
Yeah.
how? So yeah, those maps are there, but if you don't know how to read them, it's not too helpful. But you can always ask people. We will help.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of tries to find the connecting tube stations
Yeah.
sometimes and lines as they cross. I made
Yeah.
my fair amount of mistakes with that.
Yep. You just gotta do it and figure it out. You'll get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
eventually.
yeah. And then if you want to go outside London, they have like the Oxford Tube, which is a coach, and it takes you to Oxford, which is for cheap. And then there's trains everywhere, but trains are more expensive. So we spoke about in previous episodes the coaches. You could also use those.
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
How much does the Oxford coach cost?
I think it's like around 20, but I could be remembering wrong. And I think it's round trip. And
Yeah.
I forgot where it leaves from. I think Victoria.
Yeah, I think it's Victoria.
So what do I do if I get lost? You can always ask a local for advice. We really are surprisingly friendly when spoken to. ... And in most central areas, you're likely to see a friendly British bobby police officer
Bobby.
staff in tube stations. But drivers and taxi drivers are all super knowledgeable about their city. Sure, anyone, like, go into the Tesco and ask a question. I'm sure you'll be fine. Like,
I
to
don't
the
know if I
cashier.
ever asked the Bobby for direction.
Uh, yeah, that's a little intimidating.
I don't know. It's just probably the authority of like a police person for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, you do you, boo.
And I know I don't think they're like really armed in England, but in like where I come from, they're armed, and like in France, they carry machine guns. So I don't.
Yeah.
I try to keep away. But there's always like security guards. Those are good ones to act or ask. There's a lot of security guards around.
But also like the taxi drivers, they actually have to know every single street names in the city. So
True.
they are actually really knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's a
I
good one.
know someone who was learning to like was training to be a taxi driver,
Uh-huh.
and he had like a full book of names of street names and where is
Wow.
it, and I'm like, I have never heard that name in my life. And he's like, neither have I, and I've been living here for 30 years. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
okay, good luck with that.
I'd be horrible because I do directions like, oh, I have to walk past that building and then this
Yes.
park. That
Yeah.
tree. I know where it is. It's near that tree.
Yeah, I have that kind of memory as well. Like it's not like I'm passing the London street and then get to bank and I'm like, no,
No.
you pass that big building that has this on the walls, and then you pass the Salisbury's, and then on
Yeah.
Walgreens you cross the streets and you go left. Like that's how I
Yeah.
go to places.
When I used to visit my friend's office, I got out at Leicester Square. And first you have to figure out which one to get out of. And then it's right near a
Yes.
Pret. And then every single time, which I went there a billion times, I stand at the Pret and then there's like four different roads. And then I look down
Yes.
each one. I'm like, okay, I have to go to the one that you pass by the steakhouse or whatever it was. I'm like, okay, now I know where to go.
Covent Garden has a it's a roundabout where there is 5 or 6 streets.
Yeah.
I can never find the right
That's
one.
I know. I'm so good at I know Covent Garden so well, but that roundabout always mixes me up.
Yeah, me too. And then if I hit the dance store, the dance clothing store, I know I'm on the right track. If I haven't, then I know I messed up
Mm.
big time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now my heart hurts again. I miss London. I'm having more emotions.
I miss it too. But soon,
Yeah.
soon, it's happening soon.
It should be soon for me as well, so okay.
Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
How do I get cheap West End tickets, theater tickets?
Well, we
I
went
was
over
just
this.
talking about this a
Yeah,
second
so
ago.
we're good. I think also if you want to throw in the opera, which slash ballet, which Royal Opera House in Covent Garden. First, as a student, you could always get cheaper, and but I think I went the day of, and then I Usually like a few hours before is a good time to go before the show, and then like ask for the cheapest ticket. And I think the prices always go down as you get closer.
Yes. Also, I heard, I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but I know someone told me that during lunchtime, the rehearsal, that you can go in and see
Oh,
the
really?
rehearsals, lunchtime rehearsals. I don't know if it was a thing or is it still a thing, but I know it used to be because one of my friend was
Yeah.
obsessed with it,
Oh,
like
they.
going to ballets, like ballet
Yeah,
rehearsals. And I'm like, because
I would do
fun
that.
fact, the ballet school, the London Ballet Academy, I believe that's what
Yeah.
it's called, is just next to the opera house, or like
Yes, it
across
is.
from the
It's
opera
around there.
house. And they had the rehearsals, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, that would have been fun.
I know
But
in LA they do that, but the person, okay, they do it for like universities. So our university would, or my opera program would go to the rehearsals. But also like I knew one of the choir people, and he invited me once. But I don't know if the general public can go to that. But if they can to the London one, that's really exciting.
I have to try it. I have to, like, when I'm back, I have to like
Yeah,
ask around about it.
let me know because
Yeah, I
that's
will.
wonderful. I would go to the opera rehearsals.
Also, one thing that it mentions, other than what I mentioned with the, like, the booth in Leicester Square, or
Uh-huh.
like the booking tickets, or like the online booking tickets, it mentions the Globe, which is
Oh
awesome.
yeah. I haven't gone
That
yet.
it has £5 standing tickets, and
Oh,
it's awesome.
perfect. Yeah,
Like,
go
it's
see some
cheap
Shakespeare.
and it's great. The only thing, you can't have an umbrella. So if it's raining,
Oh.
like, the Globe is an opened theater.
Yeah.
So if it's raining and you have standing tickets, you are just going to get wet because you can't have an umbrella because you would block the view for the person behind you.
So maybe just wear a baseball cap.
Yeah,
There you
something
go.
like that.
Yeah,
But
lots
the
of
Globe
options.
also has like midnight shows.
Really?
They are, I don't say, I think they are cheaper as well than like the usual shows,
Oh, that's fun.
but definitely really fun. Like going to a show at midnight, like,
Yeah,
that's fun.
that is. Yeah, and then just also like if you like someone, check their touring schedule. I just thought of my friends went to see a comedian they really liked because they saw he was in London. Because it's such a big city, you might be able to find a cool show that you're gonna
Yeah,
really like. What else
I
was I
I
gonna say?
did that a lot. I did that a
Oh
lot.
yeah, I did it once too.
Like, I saw there was a play that Tom Hiddleston was in it, and I
Yeah.
was like, I am going to watch that. And then I saw the tickets, and I was the ticket prices, and I'm like, I am not sure about that. And then I find a way where I could queue for cheap tickets, and I
Uh-huh.
ended up actually going and seeing the show
Oh,
for cheaper.
perfect.
But
Perfect.
yeah, you have to be smart about um,
Yeah.
finding tickets. Like, you have to put some effort into googling how to get cheaper tickets.
Yeah.
um,
There's
like
always
before
a way.
going. There is
There's
always a
always a
way. Yeah,
way.
if there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah. What should I pack to wear? Anything goes in London. The mostly mild but changeable climate means it would be sensible to pack layers, a lightweight rain jacket and umbrella for rain showers, warm coats and jumpers for winter, and shock of shocks. You will need sun protection in summer, as the sun does make one or two appearances. Nice.
Yeah, you get like 4 days of summer. Enjoy it.
Yeah, bring your bathing suit for those 4 days. But so when I travel, I usually wear the same exact clothes over and over again. So I would say pack lighter than you would expect. Layers is a good idea. Wear something. wear clothes that are like comfortable that you can layer, but you also feel good in. You also want to have that feeling that you look good. I don't know. That gives you confidence and makes you happier. Um, you can literally bring like one pair of shoes. And also, what I do is I come from a hot place, which is California. So, um, I would like wear light layers or maybe just like a shirt and whatever, say shirt and leggings, and then carry my coat with me because it's too bulky to pack in the suitcase. So then when I get on the plane, I can layer up and because it's cold on the plane, and then I have my coat with me. And then when you get off the plane, you're in the cold London, so you can throw your coat on.
Yeah.
Very specific, but that's what I would do.
I don't know. When I went, I did something similar, but for me, I was bringing a big jumper with me, a big
Mhm.
hoodie,
Yeah.
and then I can layer whatever under it because
Exactly.
nobody
Yeah.
is going to see that. Like as
Yeah.
many layers as I wanted.
Yes.
And if I was still cold, there is a beautiful store called Primark where
Yes.
you can find for cheap another layer and you can be fine.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
I'm that person who is always cold,
me too.
so I actually had to go into Primark to get a scarf. And I was
Yeah.
traveling in the summer, but it was
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
windy day. And I was like, it's summer. It's not
Uh-huh.
gonna be windy. It was windy. So I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I need a scarf.
That's a good note to bring a scarf. And I think I mentioned before, I like to have a scarf because that is like it becomes bigger because then I use it as a wrap if I need that extra thing. So I
Yeah,
have a really big scarf I got from Norway that I use. So and I don't think you really particularly need a rain jacket. Just a coat is fine. So you're
yeah,
not bringing two things. Um, but yeah, Primark's good. So I would say like sneakers, socks. Get like I like two layers of pants, so I'll do like skirt over leggings or tights are really good. You could do tights and put something over it, and then a vest slash tank top, long sleeve shirt, sweater, coat, scarf,
yeah.
and hat. And don't forget, I really value gloves, so I will always have a scarf and gloves, and usually a beanie. So that's my recommendation.
Also, like packing light is important, I think, because
Yes.
I mean, I started packing for my time going back, and I decided I'm only going to take a carry-on with me.
That's
So I
bold.
have to be, well, yeah, I mean,
No, it's reasonable.
no, it's not exactly, but I'm that kind of person who moves around a lot
True. Yeah.
because of my job, because of my passion of travel and everything. And this
Yeah.
time I decided that, like, you know what? I'm going to just make sure I have enough clothes, but not too much. And it's
Yeah.
doable. I mean, right now I'm really hating myself because it's not easy to figure out how to pack well, especially because I'm
Yeah,
going
true.
back in September and it's
Yeah.
still like 35 degrees where I am right now. So packing for cold when it's hot is like just physical pain, but it's
Mhm.
doable.
Yep. Especially as a tourist.
Yeah. When it's like you come for 1 week, it's like, yeah, bring hoodie,
Yeah.
fine. Nobody actually cares about how fashionable a tourist you are.
Yeah. Like
Nobody.
I think as long as you have a good coat, because that's what people see.
Yeah.
So focus on your coat. If you're gonna like buy a new wardrobe, for example, buy a nice coat and just have whatever. And then even like I just said, pack light if you're a tourist, but I'm thinking about myself who's lived there for 3 years, and when it's cold, you just want to wear the same few clothing items that make you feel warm and comfortable. So,
Yes.
so if you are moving to London and you're listening to this for advice, that you can even maintain that advice. Just like bring a few good items.
Yeah. Something comfortable and warm. That's
Yes.
it. That's what you need.
And you can make it look cute easily, like with your tights. And I usually went for tights and dress.
Yeah. For in my case, it is just so terrible just to say it, but I started packing my carry-on, and it turned out I basically only wear black and dark gray. My t-shirt, my hoodie, my jeans, like everything dark color. But my coat, my trench coat, or how you call it, is blue. Like,
yeah, I remember that one.
Bright blue. And I'm like, yeah,
Well,
I
there you
think I'm
go.
gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Black, 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 blue.
That's good because there's your color. But I do as well. I have a lot of navy clothes. I don't. Do you when you imagine me in that era? Do you see me in bright clothes? I don't think I wore a lot of bright clothes.
No, not. I wouldn't recall.
I think I wore a lot of blue, dark blue.
Yes, you did. A lot of navy.
Yeah.
Navy tights.
Yes.
Dress.
I matched.
Yeah.
So.
But you had that really cute coat. I really liked your coat.
Oh my gosh, I miss wearing it.
Oh, that coat was everything.
I know, I love it. It was from Benetton. It was like 90 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
But it's
like
my
that
fave.
coat made me buy my coat.
Aww.
Because I was like, I need a coat just like that.
Yeah.
But mine was much cheaper than yours.
That's fine. As long as it's warm.
While your coat was 90 pounds, mine was 10
from
a
where?
charity shop. It
Oh,
was a
charity shop. That's awesome
Wembley.
though. That's perfect.
Yeah. I went to charity shop diving with one of my friends, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that coat. And she was like, oh, just try it on. And she was like, you're gonna buy it. And I'm like, I don't know. You're gonna buy it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And it grew on me.
Yeah.
I like that coat. I look like Paddington Bear in it though. I mean, yeah. Or if anyone saw the Fantastic Beasts, Newt Commander, his coat is like basically the exact same color as my coat.
Is it?
The same blue.
Oh yeah.
I just became a wizard. That's okay.
Yeah. No complaints. But that's cool you went to charity shop. I need to go more.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was coming from there because
that's perfect.
Also, it's important to like go to areas where rich people live because their charity shops are still pretty cheap, but they are brand new or like big brands clothing.
That's exciting.
So like I don't know what was it called, but there is a sport store in London. It's like Mountain, and it's expensive. And in Richmond, the charity shops were full of them.
Wow.
For like 5 to 10 pounds each.
Life hacks.
And in store, in general, it costs like 40 to like 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's
interesting. Yeah, we have the equivalent brands out here, so I know that type. But that's a good hack.
Yeah, you have the North Face.
Yeah, North Face.
Yeah. Also in still related but not related to the traveling part, Wembley has an outlet, a full mall of outlets.
Oh.
That's
good.
That's good to keep in mind with Nike and Adidas, North Face.
Yeah.
And a lot of other brands. Gap, they have an outlet there as well.
It's very
and there
American.
Is an outlet area in the O2 Arena as well.
Got it. Also, like my other gray coat was H&M. It was just like a little lighter. The other coat I
Okay.
used to wear, which was probably like $20, 20 pounds. So that's another good store to go. But I just thought of one really important thing that kept me warm, which was, you know, those puffy jackets?
Yes.
The ones that is a vest, so there's no arms.
Yes.
Those
Under the coat.
that like changed my world because like my first, I don't know, year and a half in England, I did not have one, and I think I remember like the two Christmases I was there. The first Christmas I was freezing, and the second Christmas I had that coat or that puffy vest, and it like made the whole difference. Cuz I don't like also having stiff arms, which happens if you're doubling jackets and
Yes.
sweater. So those are perfect. So everyone get one of those. I made sure my mom bought one before she visited.
Nice. For the H&M, it's just weird that in London H&M is like a totally usual brand. It's
Uh-huh.
like it has clothing, it has food, H&M, whatever. It's every corner,
Yes.
basically. Not really, but it's common.
Yeah, there's a lot.
In Hungary, I grew up with like H&M is like an expensive brand.
Mm.
And I'm like, and then I went to London and H&M is everywhere. And I'm like,
Wow.
my whole life was a lie.
We have it here. There's a lot here as well in America. But I think because it's a Swedish brand. Maybe that's why.
I don't know, but it was always like if you found H&M brand in like secondhand stores, like charity shops, you were like, oh my goodness, I just won the lottery.
Oh.
And then I moved to London and H&M is like every corner, and I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna go buy a bunch of clothes from H&M and then go to Hungary and give it to kids. It's gonna be my charity work.
I'm not sure if it's a good idea because so the way how Hungarians dress and how UK or the US dresses, it's totally different.
So no like princess t-shirts?
No, I mean, when I came home and like all the cool kids, the cool guys are like, I was like, are you serious? Are okay. No comment. Nope. I'm not gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be mean. Not gonna be mean. But to my brother, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like in London, everybody's pretty fashionable and like dressing comfortably, but at least
Yeah.
when you look at them, it's a whole. So like colors are matching kind of, or like
Yeah.
dark and like lighter color, or like even if somebody wearing something casual, it's not clashing.
Mm-hmm.
I came here and everything was clashing.
Oh my goodness.
Colors with patterns, and I was like, what just happened? What just happened? And people, when I started wearing my blue coat and I looked like someone came from London, people started talking at like calling me in English. Like people told me like, excuse me, do you speak Hungarian?
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, yes, I was born and raised in here. I very much speak the language. Thank you so much.
Oh
And
my.
people started asking for money from me.
What the heck?
Like, it's not even I was wearing Prada or anything expensive.
Uh-huh.
I was wearing my Primark black jeans with my Primark tennis shoes with a Primark hoodie and my 10-pound charity shop coat. My whole outfit maybe cost altogether like 25 pounds. Including the coat that was 10 pounds.
Yes.
And people were like asking for money. They were like, are you really from Hungary? I'm like,
Oh wow.
yes, I am. But I've been home for over 6 months. And today at the pharmacy, she was like, oh, so you are not Hungarian? And I'm like, yes, I am.
Oh my.
But are you though?
Can you take
So
a
that was,
picture of like Hungarian street style and put it on our Instagram?
oh, I will do something like that. But
Yeah, I'm excited.
embrace yourself.
Okay.
Like, sometimes I'm I'm usually a really calm and nice person, but sometimes me going to the mall and I come out as like, why did I even wake up today? Like it just
Mm.
makes me mad. Like everything I saw today, it just makes
Oh
me
my.
mad.
Oh no. Well, I'm excited to see that.
You know, um, in here, people like brands and they like to show off that they are wearing branded clothing.
Mm.
So like you can see as like a Nike shoes with an Adidas t-shirt
Mhm.
and like a Harris or like a North Face trousers and like a Bershka or like Pull and Bear sunglasses and like
Mhm.
just not all they are not matching together. I understand you wanna show off that you have money or you are branded, but sometimes they go overboard and they look more like a newspaper article or like a
Mm.
commercial than
Oh, I see. Yeah.
actual street style.
Hmm. Got it.
Yeah, it's great, but there are days when I'm kind of like, yeah, it's time for me to go
Mhm.
back to
Yeah.
London. And
With your coat.
yeah, I actually miss dressing warm for some reason.
Yeah.
The other day I went to the mall and it's 30 degrees outside, which is like 85
Mhm.
Fahrenheit or something like that.
Yeah.
What did I buy? A sweater. A sweater.
That's like my sister. She always buys sweaters.
And I was like, yeah, because I need it for London, but otherwise I just don't have the bikini body and I don't want to show it off, so I don't dress like it. So,
Yeah.
sweater.
I know. I miss it too. I miss my coat. Yeah. I have a drawer full of like my scarves and everything. And it's just sitting there.
Me too. It's just funny to watch the news and it's like some of the days it's like 35 degrees in here and it's 19 degrees in London. And I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's wetter weather there.
Yeah. Always. That's our advice on what to wear.
Yeah,
If that's any cohesive advice. I think so.
it depends on how much you edit out. Hopefully, a lot.
No, I never edit. I'm just kidding. We'll see. But I expect the listeners are taking detailed notes as we go along. So
Don't take detailed notes about that Hungarians don't know how to dress most of the
yeah,
time.
scratch that out. But the layers, the vest, the coat,
Yes,
the sneakers, the hat, the scarf, the gloves. There you go.
definitely.
Yeah. All right. So that was frequently asked questions about London. If you have any more questions, DM us and we'll address it. Any type of questions, if you think it's a dumb question or something like funny, like where do you meet men in London, or can I get a tattoo, which Camden Town, um, anything, and we'll get your response.
Yep.
Um,
Thank you
thank
for listening.
Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our podcast to listen every week, and maybe one episode will give you the information that you've always been looking for, and then you'll book your ticket and move across the globe and start your new life and fall in love and eat minced pies.
Fall in love. Are they moving to Italy?
Sure.
Because that's a fall in love place.
Yeah, probably.
Apparently, the movies say so.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
But yeah, follow us on Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, everywhere. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.